Ahoy hoy fellow bookworms, my name is Caroline and I like to read books, so let's talk about them. Recently I did a poll on Twitter asking what video you guys wanted to see and the winner was favourite female characters, so that's what I'm doing today. If any of you want to have some kind of input on like the videos that I make and stuff like that, then be sure to follow me on Twitter because I do polls every now and then asking like what videos you want to see and what kind of stuff people like, so that's the place to be if you want to help me out and stuff like that. So the links to all my different social medias are in the description if you want to check that out and chuck me a follow. This choker is fucking stabbing my neck. My favorite characters always fall into one of two categories and I'm actually really interested to know if this is the same for other people or if you guys have like your own criteria for sorting them, so let me know down in the comments. A lot of the time what makes me fall in love with a character is that I can see myself in them. You know, there's some kind of quality that we share. I feel like we'd get along in real life, except whatever quality we share, they have in like much bigger quantities. I'm kind of the garbage person and then they're just like the shining beacon of goodness. For example, I think I'm quite a compassionate person, but a character I love would be like defined by their compassionate nature. I also think I'm quite funny and somewhat brave, but there are characters I love that are like defined by their bravery and their sense of humor and stuff like that. But then on the other end of the spectrum, there are characters I love that are like nothing like me at all and that I love purely because they are nothing like me at all. I feel like that's enough of an introduction though because I have a lot of amazing female favorites that I want to get to, so let's just get into this. It wouldn't be one of my favorites videos of any sorts if I didn't mention the Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling in some way, so I'm just going to talk about my favorite female characters from this series first and just like get it out of the way, so let's do this. I'll do the obvious ones first. I love Hermione, not just because she's the bookworm that everyone seems to reduce her to now, but because she's wildly intelligent and she's trustworthy and she's loyal and she's brave and she's an amazing friend. I love Ginny because she's strong and driven and passionate and argumentative and an amazing Quidditch player and just a badass all round. I love Luna because she has her head in the clouds and just doesn't give a fuck what anyone thinks of her. And I love Tonks, pretty much just because I think she's the fucking coolest character ever. But there's another character who is easily one of my all-time favorites in this series and I feel like she never gets the credit that she deserves, and it's Molly Weasley. There are so many things I love about her. I love that she's a flawed character and she's interesting. I love that she's a housewife and a caregiver, but she was never reduced to a purely domestic role. She's an active member of the Order and also has one of the most iconic moments of the final battle, but also of the entire series. She fusses so much over the children at the Burrow throughout the course of the series, but she's also shown to be incredibly powerful and capable and trusted and is not someone to be underestimated, and I just love her so much. These next two characters come from a different fantasy series, but it's another one that I'm completely in love with, and it's Nina and Inej from the Six of Crows duology by Leigh Bardugo. It's kind of hard for me to explain why these two are some of my favorite characters because a lot of the reason why I love them is just like, it takes place in here and it has to do with like their backstories and like overcoming adversity and stuff like that. But I guess I can just simplify it to like, I love them for being them and for like being the badass women that they are despite having shitty stuff in their past and just like being able to laugh and smile and be badasses and be best friends and just be adorable little small beans. I really love Nina and Inej. I think they're really well written characters who have rich backstories and have great banter and are really likable. They have so many great qualities to them that I can't necessarily see myself in, but I fucking love them. This next character I kind of ummed and ahed about putting in and I decided to put her in, but I need to put like a disclaimer and say she's only my favorite character like in the second book of the trilogy. So that character is Feyre from A Court of Mist and Fury by J Maas. I have kind of gone off this series a bit now because it had a very disappointing conclusion, but this book is definitely the highlight of the series for me. I liked reading about a character who understood that it was okay to laugh and smile and still have bad days, and I just liked her character. I found her to be a really strong female and I just loved her. I consider her a favorite just because when I was reading this, I found her to be a really powerful character, so it's on my list, kind of tentatively, but yeah. Next female favorite that I want to mention is from the Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson. This is part 1 of book 1, The Way of Kings, and the character I want to talk about is Shallon or Shallon. I don't really know how you're meant to say her name. I say Shallon, but I'm pretty sure it's meant to be like Shallon or something fancy sounding. I didn't listen to the audiobook, so I really have no fucking clue, so this is just authors should be putting pronunciation guides in their books for like dipshits like me. I love Shallon so fucking much. She is a brilliant intellectual mind who just wants to learn everything there is to learn. This book is full of like little drawings that are from her journal and stuff like that, and they're such a great addition to the story. But she wants to be a scholar, like a proper scholar, and she wants to be one so badly that she pretty much goes to one of the best scholars in this world and won't leave her alone until she takes her on as a student. And she just has to know everything, and I love her, and I love that she has this passion for knowledge. And I want to say that she's my favorite character in this world, but she's not, because Kaladin exists, but she's definitely a very close second. And I love that she has a touch of magic about her, but I love that she loves knowledge so much, and she's just so precious, and I just adore her. She's easily a favorite, and talking about her now is making me realize that the third book in this series came out a couple of days ago and I haven't bought it yet, so I really need to remedy that. But she's just an incredible character. The next character I want to mention is Karoo from the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy by Laini Taylor. Now, there were so many things that I absolutely adored about her character when I read this like 3 years ago, but one of the things that really stood out to me and really resonated with me was that she was such a creative person. And I like doing creative things. I don't think I'm like a super creative person, but it was really nice to read about a character whose main passion was something creative, because I feel like that's not something you necessarily see like all the time. She's an artist, and then when more fantasy elements came into the story, like the creative stuff really helped her, and I loved seeing that, and that she was so passionate about it. And I loved that she wasn't just a creative character, like she wasn't entirely defined by like she is a creative artist. She was also really passionate about like her family and her community around her, and she just was so cool. She was like such a fucking cool character, and talking about this makes me want to reread it, but she was just so fucking cool. And she was one of the first creative characters that I read about who was like passionate about art and stuff like that, and that was really exciting for me. So even now, like 3 years on, and I haven't reread this series yet, she's still one of my favorite characters, and I think about her really fondly, and I think that's really awesome. Like, to never have reread a series and still think of the character as one of your favorites, I think means that they're a really good character. My final favorite female character for you guys is from one of my favorite books that I've read so far this year, and it's probably going to be on a lot of people's top 10s at the end of 2017, and it is Star Carter from The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This book is just fucking phenomenal. It's all about the Black Lives Matter movement. Star is a 16-year-old main character in a poor black neighborhood, sees her childhood best friend get shot and killed by a white police officer in front of her, and she just has this whole internal struggle about whether to stay quiet and see his name get trashed, or whether to come forward with the news and have this whole thing get set in motion. And it is this amazing story, but she's an amazing character as well. She's so strong and intelligent and passionate and determined, and I just loved her to absolute pieces. She cares so much about the amazing family she has around her, but it's like, it's not just her family, it's the wider community and the world around her, and she's so interested in what's happening, and she's so passionate about changing the world and changing the way things are, and she's a phenomenal character, and I loved reading about her, and I love her so much. I think she's easily one of my favorite characters ever, and this is just an amazing book, and I love it to pieces, and everyone should read it. But like, Star is an amazing character. I kind of feel like I repeated myself a fair bit in this video, but you get the point that I absolutely adore these female characters because they're amazing for so many different reasons. That does bring us to the end of this video though, guys, so be sure to let me know who your favorite female characters are down in the comments. I upload videos Wednesdays, Saturdays, and sometimes Mondays as well, so be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Toodaloo.